Good day, kids! What we are going to discuss today is comparing decimal numbers using the symbols greater than, less than, or equal. Let's compare the number 2 and 500ths against 2 and 500ths. As a beginner, you need to understand where the decimal point is, separating the whole number from the decimal part. Before comparing its digit, the decimal point must be aligned. Compare digits from left to right. Let's compare the whole number. 2 is the same as 2. Let's compare the 10th place. 0 and 0, the same. Now, let's compare the hundredths digit. 5 and 5, they are the same. That means the symbol to be used is equal. Then, we shall say that 2 and 500ths is equal to 2 and 500ths.
AJC Garcia, I am 7 years old. I'm grade 2. I'm IVFC kid. Use the symbol less than, greater than, equal. 2.2 and 500ths is equal to 2.500ths.
The instruction says, use the symbol greater than, less than, equal. And this is how to read correctly. 2 and 500ths is equal to 2 and 500ths. Let's compare 2 and 500ths and 2 and 50 hundredths. At the ones place is the same, 2 and 2. How about the tens place? 0, 5. Therefore, the symbol that we are going to use is less than. Kapag meron ng pagbabago, hinto na dito. Hindi mo na kailangang i-compare pa ang nasa kanan nito. This is read as 2 and 500ths is less than 2 and 50 hundredths.
2 and 500ths is less than 2 and 50 hundredths.
Very good. Let's compare 2 and 55 hundredths and 2 and 50 hundredths. The ones digit are the same, the tens digit are the same, while the hundreds digit are not the same. Digit 5 is greater than 0. Therefore, the symbol that we are going to use is greater than. This is read as 2 and 55 hundredths is greater than 2 and 50 hundredths.
2 and 55 hundredths is greater than 2 and 50 hundredths.
Very good. Let's compare 2 and 55 thousandths against 2 and 50 thousandths. Again, let's compare every digit from left to right. 2 and 55 thousandths is greater than 2 and 50 thousandths.
2 and 55 thousandths is greater than 2 and 50 thousandths.
Very good. Let's compare the number 2 and 55 hundredths and 2 and 50 hundredths. Let's compare. Two and 55 hundredths is greater than 2 and 50 hundredths.
2 and 55 hundredths is greater than 2 and 50 hundredths.
Very good. Let's compare 2 and 45 hundredths and 2 and 50 hundredths. 2 and 45 hundredths is less than 2 and 50 hundredths.
2 and 45 hundredths is less than 2 and 50 hundredths.
Very good. Let's compare the number 2 and 45 hundredths and 2 and 50 thousandths. Let's compare from left to right. On the tens place, there is already a difference. Therefore, we can say that 2 and 45 hundredths is greater than 2 and 50 thousandths.
2 and 45 hundredths is less than 2 and 50 thousandths.
Let's try to compare again. Always start from the left. 2 and 2 are the same. 4 and 0 are not the same. 4 is greater than 0. That is why the symbol we are going to use is greater than. That is why 2 and 45 hundredths is greater than 2 and 50 hundredths. Let's compare 2 and 5 hundredths against 2 and 50 thousandths. Let's compare from left to right. 2 is the same as 2. 0 and 0 are the same. 5 and 5 are the same. But here, we are comparing a space and a 0. Any trailing zeros are considered insignificant. Therefore, 2 and 5 hundredths is equal to 2 and 50 thousandths.
2 and 5 hundredths is less than 2 and 50 thousandths.
The correct answer is 2 and 5 hundredths is equal to 2 and 50 thousandths. Let's compare 2 and 45 thousandths and 2 and 50 thousandths. At the ones place the same, at the tenths place the same, and the hundredths place is different. 4 is less than 5. Therefore, 2 and 45 thousandths is less than 2 and 50 thousandths.
2 and 45 thousandths is less than 2 and 50 thousandths.
Very good. Let's compare 2 and 56 thousandths and 2 and 57 thousandths. Let's compare from left to right. At the ones place the same, tens place the same, hundreds the same, but in thousands place not the same. 6 is less than 7. Therefore, 2 and 56 thousandths is less than 2 and 57 thousandths. Let's compare 2 and 75 thousandths and 2 and 7 tenths. Let's compare from left to right. At the ones digit, they are the same. At the tenths digit, 0 and 7 is compared. Therefore, 0 is less than 7. 2 and 75 thousandths is less than 2 and 7 tenths.
2 and 75 thousandths is greater than 2 and 7 tenths.
I am sorry, this is incorrect. Let's try to compare again. Ones digit are the same. The tenths digit are not the same. 0 and 7 are compared, and that is why 2 and 75 thousandths is less than 2 and 7 tenths.
Walang kulelat sa math! Walang kulelat sa math! A campaign on numeracy brought to you by I Volunteer for Filipino Children. Walang kulelat sa math!